everyone, that manga kid here to do a wrap up of what I read during the 24-hour Tezuka readathon that Manga Hoarder, Shelf Space Fleeting, and Shaegeeksout were hosting. I believe it was on November, I think it was the 3rd to the 4th, and it was just 24 hours. How much just read manga in that amount of time. Um, I, by some miracle, had that entire span of time off of work. I have not had a weekend off work in a very long time, and I didn't ask for it off, so I was destined to participate, I guess. And so I saved up a bunch of my new manga so that I would read it during the readathon. So I was itching to read manga by the time the readathon came along because I had been saving all of the stuff I really wanted to read for the readathon. So I challenge myself with every readathon I participate in to only read stuff I've never read before, um, or like that I just acquired and I haven't read my own copy of, um, because I have such a long TBR and I can't justify rereading something when I have so much stuff I've never read yet. So yeah, so I read all things that I haven't read before, and I read 20 volumes in total in the 24 hours. My goal was 10 volumes, and then it was 15, and then it was 20. And yeah, I pretty much read the entire time unless I was sleeping. And I had kind of pre-made some food so that I would not have to take too much time cooking or anything. Anyway, I'm just going to get right into it at this point. The first thing I started out with was Ao Haru Ride by Io Sakisaka. This is not a new series in Japan, but a new series here. This just came out a month ago or so, and I have been waiting for this for a very long time. I love this story. I loved the anime, and I had been waiting for the manga to come here for so long. And I pre-ordered this the second it was available to be able to pre-order it. As soon as I found out that it was licensed here, I was watching every day for when I could pre-order this. And so, yeah, absolutely loved it. It was the best way to start off the readathon because I was so excited to read it and I was saving it for the readathon. If you have not read any shoujo manga by Io Sakisaka and you are a shoujo fan, you are doing yourself a disservice. Go out and buy Ao Haru Ride. Go out and buy Strobe Edge. There's something about her titles that are just really, really fresh. She just writes characters in a way that are slightly different than what I've seen before. Um, Highly recommend reading her works if you are a shoujo fan. The art is wonderful, um, and the stories are always really sweet and cute, and the characters are just so likable. Um, yeah, absolutely love it. Cannot wait to read the second volume. I want to buy it and read it like right now. I don't know if it's out yet. I think it comes out soon though. Um, but yeah, then moving on to another one I was super stoked about, After the Rain. This is by Jun Mayuzuki, and it's a two-in-one omnibus put out by Vertical. This is a story about a high school girl here. She's 17, I believe, and she is working at a family restaurant, and this is her manager. He's a dorky dude in his like early 40s, I think. Maybe late 30s, who she's absolutely infatuated with, and this is the kind of romance comedy drama series about her huge crush on her manager. It's got some really nice color pages throughout it. I'm probably going to make another video separately about this, like a first impressions, but I really enjoyed that one as well. Next, continuing with the romance theme, I read volume 5 of Kiss Me at the Stroke of Midnight by Rin Mikimoto. This is another shoujo series that I'm really loving. Very funny and really lovable characters about a girl. She's in high school. She's dating this celebrity guy who's a bit older than her. And it's just, they have their own quirky kind of behaviors. And it's just a really fun story. Next, I read Volume 3 of Dead Demons, Destruction by Inio Asano. This is kind of sci-fi slice of life, almost. And yeah, it's pretty good. So far, this volume in particular was quite sad. And yeah, it's just a really, really great series. If you like Inio Asano, or if you just like if you haven't read anything by him, maybe this is actually a good one to pick up first. It's not, at least so far, it's not super, I don't know what the word is, striking, as like Goodnight Poon Poon and A Girl on the Shore and stuff is. I think this would be a decent one to pick up and try and get into his works, because it's bizarre for sure, but it's kind of a slice of life sci-fi. Next, Volume 12 of Ajin Demi-Human by Gamon Sakurai. Another series I absolutely love. This volume was fantastic. Action-packed, go, go, go. Like, we're in the thick of things right now in this story, and it was so good. Cannot wait for the next volume. I don't hear enough people talking about Ajin. This is a phenomenal series. It is so much fun to read. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, just amazing. I also just realized I totally forgot about the challenges. There were 6 challenges, and I did complete all of them. However, I'm already most way through this video, and I'm not going to start again. So I did complete all the challenges. I just don't have the piece of paper that I wrote down what they were. I can tell you that this was my medical themed one, but this is Frankenstein by Junji Ito, and this is new as well. It is the first story in it, which is most of the book, but not, I wouldn't say halfway, but most of the, at least a third of the book is Frankenstein, the story that you probably most people know, but it's Junji Ito's kind of retelling of it, I guess. And then the other part of the book is a bunch of short stories, which were pretty good. Most of them were connected, and then there were a few at the end that had nothing to do with anything else in this book, that were pretty good as well. Yeah, I enjoyed it, and it fulfilled the medical theme prompt or task. Let me see if I can find that book. Yeah, so a suspense or story with medical themes was one of the prompts, and that is what I chose for this one. I'm dropping papers everywhere. Okay, next I read Volume 5 of Silver Spoon by Hiromu Arakawa. I've talked a lot about Silver Spoon already. If you're not reading it and you like comedy and slice of life, absolutely read this one. About a boy at a farming agricultural high school. He's from the city. Everybody else around him are farming families, and so he's kind of out of his element, and it's hilarious. This fulfilled the title with animals and nature, because agriculture makes sense. Next up, I read Love at 14, Volume 8. This might be my favorite thing that I read during this readathon. Love at 14, I will absolutely be making a separate video about this sometime soon. I was hoping it would be finished soon, but it is clearly not done, because at the end it says see you in Volume 9. So I'll probably just make a video at this point, because I don't, there's, as far as I know, please tell me if I'm wrong, there's no end in sight at this point. But I really want to make a video about this. This is a really good, slow, cute, innocent romance story. with wonderful side characters. I don't care about the main characters too much, but all of the side characters really, really make this story absolutely wonderful. And this volume actually made me cry. Um, and it just like in a good way. It was just such a sweet moment that I just kind of lost it. Um, yeah, absolutely loved this volume. If you're not reading Love at 14, I highly recommend it. It's not phenomenal, but every volume, when it comes out, I'm excited to read it, and after I read it, I just feel really good. Um, it's so sweet. Next up, I read After Hours. Um, there's a LGBT character in Love at 14, and then I got in the mood to read the sweet moment happened with the character who's in the LGBT community, and therefore wanted to read some other LGBT focused manga after that. So I chose volume 2 of After Hours by Yuta Nishio. This is about two women in their 20s. One's in her early-ish 20s and one's in her late 20s. And it's about like the one girl, Kay, is a DJ, and then this other girl, the main character, gets involved with her and starts kind of getting into the nightlife scene. And this volume, they're just kind of trying to put together an event of some kind. Um, and yeah, it was good. I liked the first volume, I think, a bit better, but by the end of this volume was really sweet, and I really enjoyed it. But the first half of it was just a lot of like they're getting ready to put on some event, and it was kind of slow. Hopefully, volume 3, which I believe is the last volume, I think it comes out in December. I have it pre-ordered already, but hopefully the last volume is better than this one. But overall, I enjoyed it. Oh, also, another prompt was a romance slash adventure story. Um, I've read a lot of romance ones and I've showed you them already, so that counts for that. Um, and the robots or machines prompt I put as dead demons destruction. Um, anyway, continuing on. Then I was in the mood to read another story about women rather than high school kids, so I chose to read Tokyo Terroreba Girls, Volume 3. This is by Akiko Higashimura. I have talked about this one already. This was a good volume. The ending, I want to read the next volume. I just these these women, I feel for them. I really really do. Um, this volume was not a happy one. I found the first two to be funnier than this one, but the story is progressing more in this one. Um, so yeah, this one was more kind of serious, still comedic, but more serious than the first two. So we're kind of getting somewhere with this series at this point, I guess. Next, I was still in the mood to read about LGBT characters, so I picked up Volume 1 of Sweet Blue Flowers by Takako Shimura. These are 2-in-1s, so this contains Volumes 1 and 2. This is a high school Yuri, slow, kind of more innocent and sweet. Still some sexual themes, but not explicit ones, and it's not for um, it's not for the reader's pleasure. It's not meant to titillate you in any way. It's literally just like sex is a thing that happens in life, and some of these characters have been sexually active, and that's just a matter of fact, and it's part of the story, and it isn't to excite male readers. Um, so and that's the kind of story I'm looking for. I'm not looking for something that is I don't want to use the word exploiting queer characters, but like that. Um, I want a story about queer characters living their lives, not meant to titillate the reader. Um, but anyway, Takako Shimura, I really love Takako Shimura. This is not my favorite work by her. Wandering Sun is by far. And I did watch Laura's video of her wrapping up what she read, and I totally agree with her sentiment about Sweet Blue Flowers in that it is kind of hard to follow at times. It jumps around a bit or a lot actually, and it's kind of difficult to keep up with what's going on at what time. Um, I still enjoy it. I'm really liking it. Um, I watched the anime years ago, but I hadn't read the manga before. Um, Wandering Sun is superior by far, but I'm still loving this. There is a part of me that's really sad reading this because it's not Wandering Sun, and I don't own Wandering Sun. So it just kind of the reason I put it off so long is because I know that it makes me upset that this is not Wandering Sun. But yeah, I did enjoy it, and I read volume 2 as well after that. So technically 4 volumes of that, but I only counted it as 2 because it's 2 physical volumes. But yeah, I just continued with that. I do have the other 2 omnibuses. I wasn't in the mood to continue reading it at this point for the readathon. So next, I had actually taken about a half-hour break in between that and my next read. I went on my computer for a little bit, but then about half an hour passed and I was in the mood to read manga again. So I picked up Kurosagi Corpse Delivery Service, the first omnibus. This is by, where is his name? Eiji Otsuka and Hosui Yamazaki. This is a creepy, disturbing story about these students at a Buddhist college or university, and they all kind of have special talents, gifts of some kind, and they use them and all kind of have to do with dead bodies. They start the Kurosagi Corpse Delivery Service where they go and they find dead bodies and then they fulfill the dead body's last wishes um, and deliver the body to wherever it wants to be. This is a 3-in-1 omnibus. I had read the first volume of it. For the readathon, I had read the last 2 in the collection here. But again, counted it as just one read because it's one physical volume. Very creepy, disturbing, gross, but right up my alley of like what I want to be reading. And I used this one for a title that had religious themes in it because they're all Buddhist in training or at some kind of Buddhist university. I don't know. But yeah, so this one was good. Next up, I read Aka 13 Territory Inspection Department by Natsume Ono. Love this series. Absolutely. I love Natsume Ono, and Aka is probably at this point my favorite series by her. This is a political drama series that is absolutely wonderful. It's slow paced, but really, really, like the whole story is unwinding, and you're finding out more and more as it goes along, and you're confused as the characters are confused, and it's really, really wonderful. Highly recommend checking it out. I will make a video about this, I believe. Sorry. I believe volume 6 is the final volume, and it comes out early next year, I think. Once it's complete and I've read the whole thing, I will absolutely be making a video about this, but definitely recommend checking this out if you haven't already. Next, I read Waiting for Spring, Volume 8. Just another shoujo title. Very cute. It's fun. It's cute. The boys are cute. The girl's cute. It's just fluffy and adorable. And there was progress in this volume. Major progress. So very excited for that. Can't wait to get the next one and read that. Then, it was at almost 1 in the morning at this point when I picked up Yotsubato Volume 1. This is the only volume I own. I got this for $1. I have been wanting to pick up this series forever, but Yen Press is very expensive. This is the old ADV release, but so I had Volume 1. and hadn't read it yet. Oh man, I was laughing so hard. This was so funny. I absolutely need to get on picking up the rest of this series because this was flippin' hysterical. Such a great way to finish off my night because I was so tired and I decided to pick this up because it has not too much dialogue in it. Oh, it was so funny. Yeah, really great. I know I'm late on this one. A lot of people talk about Yotsubato, but it's so funny. Really enjoyed that. Then in the morning, I went to bed at that point, and then in the morning, I woke up, set my alarm so I could read a few more volumes before time was up. And so I picked up volume 4 of Barakemon, continuing with the kind of uh, rural town theme and like funny little girl theme. Um, yeah, Barakemon, really good. Most people have talked about this one already, I think, at this point. Again, I'm kind of late to the game on this one. I do own every volume that's out currently, which is up to 16, but I had only read 3 volumes at that point. So I picked up volume 4, and then I also read volume 5. Again, really funny. I needed some more lighthearted kind of funny stuff and not necessarily romance because I had read so much of it at that point. Really enjoyed these 2 volumes of Barakemon. It's so cute, lighthearted, and fun. The characters are fun, and everything is just really. It feels real to me. Um, yeah, like they feel like real people, and that's really wonderful. There's no more space, so that's gonna stay over there. Then I needed 2 more volumes to get to 20 volumes, and I conveniently had 2 more volumes of My Girlfriend's a Geek to read. So this is volume 4 and 5, and this is by Rize Shinba, and story is by Pentabu. This was originally a novel. I don't know if it was a light novel or just a regular novel. I don't know. But it's basically exactly what the title says. This guy is dating a otaku, and more explicitly a fujoshi. So she's got him writing some kind of yaoi fan fiction about her favorite characters that she is shipping, and it's her kind of forcing her otaku lifestyle on her boyfriend, um, who is the main character. So it's a shoujo with a male main character, and they're adults. He's a college student. She's a bit older than him. So this is not a high school story. Um, it's good. I'll be making a separate video about this. It was a good kind of way to finish off the readathon and get me to 20 volumes because at that point I couldn't just stop at 18. Um, and I read pretty much until the end of the time limit. I think I finished like 45 minutes before, and at that point, like I could have read another volume and got up to 21, but I was good at 20. I was very satisfied with my reads, super satisfied with how this all turned out, and I had such a great time. So I just want to thank the 3 hosts because I had a wonderful time. It was so much fun. I really love participating in readathons because it gives me an excuse to just sit down and read the stuff I've never read before and really put a dent in my TBR shelf. So yeah, I read a lot more than I thought I would. I did complete all the challenges. Um, I didn't complete like each challenge kind of had a slash in it so that like you could do one or the other kind of thing, and I only completed like one half of each challenge. Um, but at least I did complete the 6 challenges, and read a bunch of really fun and awesome manga. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you have any questions about any of the titles that I mentioned, definitely let me know in the comments below. If you participated, let me know, especially if you made a video about it. I want to watch it. That's what I love about the readathons is kind of seeing everybody else and what they read and everything like that. Yeah, thanks for watching. See ya.